My entitled family wants to take my food truck and give it to my sister's unemployed husband, saying they need it more than I do. Before continuing the story, let us know in the comments which city you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you won't miss more stories, and leave your like on the video. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who lost everything, but March 2020 changed that faster than I could process. I was 32, working as an events coordinator at a mid-sized hotel downtown. Not glamorous, but stable. I had a studio apartment, a reliable used car, and enough in savings to feel secure. Then the pandemic hit like everyone said it wouldn't. The hotel closed in the second week of lockdown. They said temporary, maybe a month. By May, they made it permanent. Just like that, I joined millions staring at crashing unemployment websites, refreshing pages that never loaded. My savings? Gone in 2 months covering rent and groceries. I applied everywhere. Grocery stores, warehouses, delivery services, call centers. Nothing. Everyone was drowning. By July, my landlord sent the eviction notice. I couldn't blame him. He had bills too. I had 2 weeks to pack up 3 years of my life. I sold everything except one suitcase and my car. With the money, I bought a used camping trailer, beat up, 15 years old, with a leak in one corner and a temperamental heater. But it was mine, and it had 4 walls. I thought maybe my parents would help. We hadn't been close since I moved out at 18, but this was survival. I drove 3 hours to their house on a Tuesday. My younger sister had moved back in with her husband and 4 kids 2 years earlier. They'd converted the garage into extra bedrooms. My mother answered the door without smiling. "Vera, what are you doing here?" "I lost my apartment." "Mom, I thought maybe I could stay in the guest room for a few weeks while You want to move in?" My father appeared behind her, arms crossed. "We don't have room." "The guest room. Your sister's family needs that space. They have children." My sister emerged from the kitchen, looking me up and down. "Jesus, Vera, you look like hell." "I've been going through..." "Let me guess. You need money." She laughed without warmth. "Mom, Dad, she's gonna start begging now. I told you she'd show up." "I'm not begging, I just lost everything, and I thought family..." "Might what? Enable you?" My father cut in. "You're 32. Figure it out. Your sister has 4 mouths to feed and she's managing. She's living here rent-free," I said, voice shaking. "That's different. She has children. You're just... you." My mother waved dismissively. My sister's husband came outside holding their youngest. He looked at my trailer and laughed. "Holy shit, you're living in that thing?" "It's temporary." "It's pathetic," my sister said, turning to her kids. "See this? This is what happens when you don't plan ahead. Auntie Vera made bad choices." I felt something break inside me, quiet, like a wire pulled too tight. "I need to go." "Probably for the best," my father said. "We can't have vagrants hanging around. What would people think?" I got in my car. Nobody said goodbye. I sat there 5 minutes before I could see clearly, watching them close the door like I'd never existed. That night, I parked in a Walmart lot 3 towns over. I couldn't go back to my old city. Too expensive. Too many memories. I heated a can of soup on a camping stove and ate it in the dark, listening to someone argue 2 rows over. This was my life. A car, a trailer, $800. I cried for the first time in months. Then I stopped, because crying wouldn't change anything. I needed a plan. Not for tomorrow, for right now. First, find somewhere safer to park. Second, charge my devices without draining my battery. Third, keep applying for jobs. Every day, no matter how hopeless. By 2 a.m., I'd researched gym memberships for showers, truck stop outlets for charging, and safe parking lots. The next day, I signed up at Planet Fitness. $20 a month for showers, bathrooms, and electricity. The smartest decision I'd made in weeks. I fell into a routine. Different parking lot each night. Dawn wake up, gym for shower, library for Wi-Fi and applications, grocery lot for lunch, more applications. Drive around, find parking, sleep, repeat. Some nights were okay. Some were terrifying. Drunk people banging on my door at 3 a.m., screaming matches nearby. I learned to sleep with pepper spray in one hand, keys in the other. 3 months in, I'd been rejected from 74 jobs. I'd lost 15 pounds I couldn't afford to lose. But I hadn't given up. Because giving up meant my family was right about me. And I'd die before I let them be right. Living in parking lots gave me too much time to think. Too much time to remember things I'd spent years trying to forget. The memories came back in pieces. Usually at night when I couldn't sleep. I'd lie there in the dark, listening to my trailer creak, and suddenly I'd be 7 years old again, watching my parents smile at my sister in a way they never smiled at me. I was 5 when she was born. I don't remember being jealous. I remember being excited to have a sister, someone to play with. But from the moment they brought her home, something shifted. The air in the house changed. I became background noise. My mother would hold her for hours, cooing and singing. When I asked to hold her, she'd say, "Be careful, Vera, don't drop her." Like I was clumsy, careless, like I couldn't be trusted with something precious. By the time my sister could walk, the pattern was clear. She got the bigger bedroom. She got new clothes while I wore hand-me-downs from cousins. When we both wanted the same toy, they bought it for her and told me I was too old for that anyway. I learned quickly not to complain. Complaints made them angry. "You're the oldest. You should know better. Stop being selfish." The worst part wasn't the inequality, it was the pretending. When extended family visited, grandparents, aunts, uncles, my parents transformed. Suddenly, they were fair and loving to both daughters. They'd include me in conversations, buy me treats alongside my sister, make sure we both got equal attention. The moment the relatives left, the mask dropped. I remember one Thanksgiving when I was 12. My grandmother noticed I didn't have a winter coat while my sister had 2 new ones. She asked my mother about it quietly, but I heard. My mother laughed it off, said I'd grown out of mine recently and she just hadn't had time to shop yet. She bought me a coat the next day. Clearance rack, wrong size, just to keep up appearances. That's when I realized they knew exactly what they were doing. This wasn't neglect, it was deliberate. My sister learned the game early. She understood she was the favorite, and she used it. If I took a toy she wanted, she'd scream until my mother came running. If I defended myself when she hit me, I'd get punished while she got comforted. She'd break my things and say it was an accident. My parents always believed her. By the time I was 14, she was 9 and had perfected the art of manipulation. She'd provoke me until I snapped, then run crying to our parents. Every time I was the villain, the angry older sister who couldn't control herself, the problem child. "Why can't you be more like your sister?" my mother would ask. "She never causes problems." I stopped trying to defend myself. What was the point? They'd made their choice years ago. The day I turned 18, I was still finishing high school. I came home from school to find my belongings in trash bags on the front porch. My father was waiting outside. "You're an adult now. Time to figure out your own life." "I'm still in school," I said, not quite believing what was happening. "I graduate in 2 months. You can finish from wherever you end up. We need the room." "For what?" He didn't answer. Just went back inside and closed the door. I found out later they converted my bedroom into a playroom for my sister. She was 13. She didn't need a playroom. She just wanted my space. I spent the last 2 months of high school sleeping on friends' couches, rotating every few days so I wouldn't wear out my welcome. I kept my clothes in my car, the beat-up sedan I'd bought with money from my part-time job. I showered at school before anyone else arrived. I studied in the library until it closed. My parents didn't come to my graduation. My sister posted photos from a theme park that weekend. They'd taken her to celebrate the end of my childhood, apparently. I got into a state university with partial financial aid, worked 2 jobs to cover the rest, and moved 3 hours away. For 4 years. I barely spoke to them. They'd call on holidays, brief and perfunctory. I never visited. My sister would occasionally text asking for money or favors. I stopped responding. After graduation, I stayed in the city, built my own life. I thought I'd moved past it. I thought I'd healed. But sitting in that trailer, rejected and alone, I realized I'd just been avoiding the truth. My family never loved me. Not really. I was an inconvenience they'd tolerated until I was old enough to dispose of. And when I showed up desperate and homeless, asking for basic human compassion, they couldn't even pretend for my sake. My sister's words echoed, "This is what happens when you don't plan ahead." No. This is what happens when your family teaches you that you don't matter, that asking for help is shameful, that you're fundamentally less deserving than someone else for reasons you'll never understand. I was 32 years old, living in a parking lot, and I finally understood. I'd been preparing for abandonment my entire life. They'd trained me for this moment. They just hadn't expected me to survive it. But I would. Not for them. Despite them. Because proving them wrong was the only revenge I had left. Month 4 of living in my trailer. I finally caught a break. A warehouse 40 minutes outside the city needed someone for inventory management. The pay was barely above minimum wage. The hours were brutal, and nobody else wanted it. Perfect for me. I showed up to the interview in clothes I'd washed in a gym sink. The manager barely glanced at my resume. "You have reliable transportation?" "Yes." "Can you start Monday?" That was it. No questions about my experience or education. He just needed someone who'd show up. I did more than show up. I worked like my life depended on it, because it did. First week, I parked my trailer in the far corner of the employee lot. By week 2, my boss asked if I wanted to move it behind the warehouse where it'd be safer. In exchange, I'd be available for after-hours work. I agreed immediately. The arrangement solved my biggest problem: constant relocation. I had a semi-permanent spot with bathroom access and a power outlet. It felt like luxury. I settled into a routine. Wake at 5:30, quick cleanup, start work at 6. Most days I stayed until 6 or 7 p.m., taking any overtime offered. Extra shifts on weekends, holiday coverage. I said yes to everything. The other workers thought I was crazy. I didn't love inventory management. I loved the paycheck. I loved being too busy to think about my family or how I'd ended up here. I became the go-to person for everything. Shipment arriving early? Call Vera. System glitch? Vera can fix it. Someone called in sick? Vera will cover. 6 months in, my boss called me into his office. How'd you like to be supervisor? I blinked. Supervisor? You're here more than anyone. You know the systems better than people who've been here 5 years and the crew listens to you. Plus, I'm tired of scheduling. That's your problem now. The raise was 30% more than I'd been making. Actual salary, not hourly. Benefits. I wanted to cry. Instead, I said, "When do I start?" "You already did. Schedule's due Friday." That night, I did the math. With this salary and minimal expenses, I could save real money. In a year, maybe 18 months, I could afford an apartment. But then I thought about landlords and leases and the constant fear of losing it all again. About working for someone else. Always one crisis away from being back in a parking lot. I'd spent months in survival mode, but I hadn't been idle. During lunch breaks, I'd researched food trucks, lower overhead, flexibility. The pandemic had made outdoor dining popular. I'd been good at event coordination. I understood logistics and customer service. And during those early pandemic months, I'd taught myself to cook. Started as a way to save money, but I discovered I was actually good at it. I'd experimented with burger recipes on my camping stove, perfecting seasonings and techniques. I kept notes, refined everything, dreamed about having a real kitchen someday. What if someday was now? I opened my laptop and started a spreadsheet. Used food truck, 8 to 15,000. Equipment, 5 to 10,000. Permits, 2,000. Initial inventory, 1,000. Contingencies, 3,000. 25,000 total. I had 4,000 saved. Saving 50% of my income, I could reach 25,000 in 2 years. 2 years felt possible. I started a separate savings account labeled Freedom Fund. Every paycheck, half went straight there. I lived on the rest. Easy when your home is a trailer behind a warehouse. I stopped looking at apartments. Started looking at equipment catalogs. During slow periods, I refined my business plan. Menu design, pricing, location analysis, marketing. I studied successful food trucks. Learned from mistakes, identified market gaps. I became obsessed. This wasn't just about money. This was about building something nobody could take from me. 18 months after starting at the warehouse, my Freedom Fund hit $28,000. I could afford to build something. I gave 2 weeks' notice on a Tuesday. My boss took it well. Figured you wouldn't stay forever. What's next? I'm opening a food truck. He laughed. Then stopped when he saw I was serious. You know anything about running a restaurant? I know how to work hard. I'll figure out the rest. He nodded slowly. Yeah, I believe you will. My last day, the crew surprised me with a goodbye cake. For the first time in years, I felt like maybe I belonged somewhere. But I was ready to belong to something I built myself. Finding the right trailer took 3 months. I must have looked at 50 listings. Rusted shells, overpriced disasters, sketchy sellers who vanished. Then I found it. A converted concession trailer from a failed barbecue business. The exterior needed work, but the bones were solid. Commercial griddle, refrigeration, 3-compartment sink, all functional. The owner was desperate, going through a divorce. I negotiated him down to 12,000. The next 4 months were renovation and learning. I rented a small room above a laundromat, $250 a month for 40 square feet. It had a door that locked and wasn't on wheels. Progress. I parked the trailer in a commercial lot for $40 monthly. Every evening, every weekend, I worked on my dream. I stripped the interior, deep cleaned everything, replaced worn equipment with better used pieces. I taught myself electrical work from YouTube, upgraded the propane system, installed new flooring. The menu came together through trial and error. I tested recipes, got feedback from my former warehouse coworkers, adjusted. 3 signature burgers, seasoned fries, a sauce people loved. I got my permits, licenses, health department approval. Designed a simple logo, ordered magnetic signs, set up social media, built a basic website. The location took strategy. I scouted high-traffic areas, studied patterns, talked to other food truck owners, found a spot near the community college and business district, lunch crowds during the week, late-night students on weekends, $200 a month. I paid 3 months up front. Opening day was a Friday in early June. I barely slept the night before. That morning, I stocked the trailer, fired up the griddle at 10 a.m., opened at 11. By 11:30, I had a line. Maybe 15 people, but it felt like a crowd. Real customers, paying real money for food I'd made. The first burger I sold was to a college kid who paid with exact change. "Smells amazing," he said. I wanted to cry. Instead, I smiled. Enjoy. The lunch rush lasted 3 hours. I worked nonstop, taking orders, cooking, assembling, serving. The rhythm felt natural. When someone complimented the food, I felt pride I'd never experienced at any regular job. By 3 p.m., I'd sold out of most ingredients. Made almost $800. After costs, maybe $400 profit. Best day I'd had in years. That evening, exhausted and elated, I made a mistake. I posted about it online. Nothing excessive, just photos of the trailer and food, a caption thanking everyone for supporting a new small business. I tagged the location, used local hashtags. I thought I was being smart, building awareness. What I didn't think about was who might see it. The post got decent engagement. Couple hundred likes, shares, encouraging comments. I'd done it. Built something from nothing. Saturday was even better. Bigger crowd, more sales, people returning from Friday. Sunday I opened shorter hours and still did solid business. I was exhausted, covered in grease, and happier than I'd been since before the pandemic. Monday morning, I slept in. Woke around 9, made coffee, checked messages. That's when I saw it. A comment on my Friday post. Left Sunday night. From my sister. "Wow, look at little Vera with her cute food cart. Glad to see you finally got your act together. We'll have to stop by and support family." My stomach dropped. I'd made the business account public. I wanted customers to find me. I just hadn't thought about my family finding me. I told myself it was fine. She probably wouldn't actually show up. She lived hours away. She had 4 kids. I was wrong. Tuesday afternoon during lunch rush. They came. All of them. Parents, sister, her husband, all 4 kids, 2 cars. They descended on my trailer like a swarm. "Vera!" my sister called, waving enthusiastically. "There's our little entrepreneur." Customers in line turned to look. My face flushed. "Hey, what are you doing here?" "Supporting family." "Obviously," she gestured to her kids. "The babies wanted to try Auntie Vera's famous burgers." "No, not here, not now." "I'm really busy," I said, gesturing to the line. "Maybe you could come back?" "Oh, we don't mind waiting," my mother said, inserting herself at the front. "Family shouldn't have to wait, though. Right?" The customer I'd been helping stepped back awkwardly. Everyone was watching. This was the beginning of something, I could feel it, and I had no idea how to stop it. My sister pushed to the service window, her husband behind her with the kids trailing. The actual customer stepped aside, sensing tension. "So what's good here?" my sister asked, scanning the menu board. "The kids are starving. We drove all this way to support you." I kept my voice level. "Everything's good. The classic burger is our most popular. It's $12. $12? She laughed. "For a burger? Vera, come on." That's the price. Behind them, the line was growing. People checking phones, glancing at watches. "Well, obviously we're not paying," my sister said matter-of-factly. "We're family. You wouldn't charge your own family, would you?" My throat tightened. "I'm running a business. A business we came to support." Her voice rose. "We drove 3 hours to be here and you're going to nickel and dime us?" The kids started whining. "Mom, I'm hungry." My father stepped forward. "Vera, don't embarrass yourself. Just make the food. We're not paying." I looked at the line of customers watching. An older woman was frowning. A couple in business clothes had pulled out their phones, probably checking other options. My sister leaned closer. "Unless you want us to tell everyone how you treat your family, how you refuse to feed your own nieces and nephews, that would look great for your brand new business, wouldn't it?" Blackmail. Plain and simple. I was trapped. If I refused, they'd make a scene, drive away customers. If I gave in, I'd lose money and actual paying business. Fine, I said quietly. What do you want? Victory flashed in my sister's eyes. 4 kids' meals, and I'll take the deluxe bacon burger with sweet potato fries. He'll have the same. Mom, Dad, what do you want? They ordered the most expensive items. My mother added extra toppings. My father wanted a milkshake that took 5 minutes to make. I rang it up silently. $87. Almost a full evening's worth of ingredients. Gone. And actually, my sister added, can you make mine without onions? And make sure the kids' burgers are well done. I nodded, jaw clenched. Behind them, 2 people left the line. Just walked away. It took 20 minutes to prepare everything. The whole time, my family stood at the window, talking loudly about how cute my little venture was. Remember when she wanted to be an event planner? My sister said. At least now she's found something at her level. I packaged their food in silence, handed it through. Thanks, sis. My sister grabbed the bags. This is what family does, right? We support each other. They didn't say goodbye, just took the food to a nearby picnic table and spread out. The next customer stepped up. Sorry about the wait, I said. No worries. She glanced at my family. For what it's worth, that was messed up. I wanted to thank her, but my throat was too tight. I just took her order. The rest of lunch felt off. A few customers asked if the family drama was regular. One guy joked, do I get the family discount too? By 3 p.m., I'd made about $400, not including the $87 I'd lost. They'd left around 1:30, leaving crumbs and sauce stains on the picnic table. That night in my room, I tried to convince myself it was one time. They'd gotten their free meal and would leave me alone. But I couldn't shake the look in my sister's eyes when she realized she had leverage, when she understood that threatening my business gave her power. I'd spent years building distance from them, years creating a life where they couldn't hurt me. And in one afternoon, they'd found a way back in. I pulled up my business social media. My sister had posted a photo, tagged my account. Visiting my sister's new burger stand. Family supporting family. The comments were positive. People saying how sweet it was, how lucky I was, if they only knew. I checked analytics. That post had driven traffic, new followers, people wanting to try it. My family was using my business for clout, taking credit for supporting me while costing me money. And I couldn't call them out without looking like the bad guy. They'd built their lives on the narrative that they were good and I was difficult. If I said they'd extorted free food, who would believe me? I'd look petty, ungrateful. They knew that. They'd always known that. I turned off my phone and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow was Wednesday. I'd be open at 11. Maybe they wouldn't come back, but I knew better. They'd found something they could take from me, and they weren't done taking. They didn't come back the next day, or the day after. For a week, I worked in relative peace, believing maybe they'd moved on. Then the following Tuesday, they showed up at 4 p.m., after the rush, when I was cleaning the griddle. Just my parents, my sister, and her husband. No kids this time. We're closed, I called out. We're not here for food, my father said. We need to talk. Nothing good ever followed those words from him. I locked the trailer and met them at a picnic table, staying standing. They all sat, forming a united front. So, my sister started, we've been thinking about your success here. It's really impressive what you've built. I waited. There was always a but with them. The thing is, her husband said, I recently lost my job. Company downsized. And with 4 kids, it's been rough. I'm sorry to hear that, I said flatly. We were thinking, my mother said, since you have this food truck and you've proven the concept works, maybe you could help out the family. Help out how? My sister leaned forward. Well, he needs work. You have this successful business. What if he ran the truck for a while? You could go back to a regular job, something stable. He'd run this and... No. The word hung in the air. Vera, don't be hasty, my father said. Hear us out. I already heard you. The answer is no. You're not even going to consider it? My sister's voice rose. My husband needs work. My children need to eat. And you're sitting on a business you barely started. I built this from nothing, I said, my voice shaking. I saved for 2 years. I did all the work. This is mine. Family helps family, my mother said. He doesn't even need ownership. Just let him run it for 6 months. A year. You'd still own it. And what would I do? Get a regular job, my father said, like it was obvious. Something with benefits and stability. This food truck thing is risky anyway. They wanted me to give up what I'd built so my sister's husband could take over. What about the profits? I asked. While he's borrowing my business. They exchanged glances. Well, he'd need those to support the family, my sister said. But you'd still own the truck. When he's back on his feet, he'd give it back. So I give him my business, my income, my future, for free, and hope he eventually gives it back. It's temporary, my mother insisted. Just until he finds something else. The answer is no. This conversation is over. My sister stood up. I can't believe how selfish you are. My children are suffering, and you won't even help. Your children are living in a house rent-free with their grandparents. I was homeless 4 months ago. Don't talk to me about suffering. That was your own fault, my father snapped. You made bad choices. Now you have a chance to make a good one and help your family. By giving away everything I built? That's not helping. That's enabling. You think my husband needs to be enabled? My sister's face flushed. He's a good man who's down on his luck. I'm not giving you my business. Her husband spoke quietly. You're making a mistake. Family is supposed to be there for each other. Family is supposed to not kick you out when you're homeless, but here we are. My sister's expression changed. The fake sweetness vanished, replaced by something cold. You're really going to do this? Prioritize your little food cart over your family? It's a business. My business. And yes, fine. But don't expect any support from us. Don't expect us to promote you or bring customers. You're on your own. I've been on my own since I was 18. I'm used to it. They stood, my father shaking his head like I was a disappointment. You'll regret this. I doubt it. They walked to their cars without another word. I watched them drive away, then went back into the trailer and sat down on the floor. My hands were shaking, not from fear, from anger, from the audacity of them showing up and demanding I hand over my livelihood like it was a toy I should share. I pulled out my phone and looked at my business account. Good reviews, regular customers, people actually coming back because they liked the food. I'd done that. Not them. Me. They thought I'd fold because I always had. The peacekeeper. The one who took punishment quietly. Who left rather than fight back. They'd expected me to give in because that's what I'd been conditioned to do my entire life. But I wasn't that person anymore. I'd survived homelessness. I'd built a business from savings earned through brutal work. I'd created something from nothing while they sat comfortably in their free housing and made demands. No, they didn't get to have this. I stood up, grabbed my cleaning supplies, and got back to work. I had a business to run, and I wasn't giving it to anyone. The sabotage started 2 days later. Thursday morning, I found 3 one-star reviews on my business page, all posted within an hour. Different accounts, but similar language. Terrible food, got food poisoning. Worst burger I've ever had. Rude owner, unsanitary conditions, avoid. Brand new accounts, no other reviews, no profile pictures. Fake. By Friday, there were 6 more. My rating dropped from 4.8 stars to 3.2 overnight. I knew exactly who was behind it. Friday was slow. Several regular customers mentioned seeing concerning reviews. I assured them they were fake, but I could see doubt in their eyes. Saturday evening, my sister posted publicly. A customer showed me. It's heartbreaking when family turns their back on you. My husband lost his job, and I reached out to my sister who owns a successful business. She refused to help, said she didn't have money to spare, even though her food truck is thriving. Meanwhile, my 4 children are struggling. Family is supposed to support each other, praying we find a way through this difficult time. The comments were exactly what she wanted. That's terrible. Some people only care about themselves. A few people defended me, but they were drowned out. Sunday morning, her husband showed up drunk. It was 11 a.m. Hey, Vera, he slurred, leaning against my window. Heard business is slowing down. Karma's a bitch, huh? Customers in line stepped back. A mother pulled her child closer. You need to leave, I said, phone already in hand. Or what? You'll call the cops on family? Last warning. You think you're better than us. Think you're so special with your little truck. But you're nothing. I hit record. I'm documenting this. You're harassing me at my place of business while intoxicated. Leave immediately. His expression shifted when he saw the camera. Whatever. This place is a joke anyway. He stumbled off. 2 customers left the line. That afternoon, I made a decision. I'd been silent too long. Silent when they kicked me out. Silent when they rejected me while homeless. Silent through the extortion and sabotage. Enough. I opened my laptop and wrote. Not a rant, just truth. Clear, factual, documented. I wrote about being kicked out at 18, showing up homeless and being turned away, the free food extortion, the demand for my business, the fake reviews, today's harassment. I attached screenshots of fake accounts, photos of them taking free food, the harassment video. Then I posted it. I've stayed silent about my family situation for years, but recent events have forced me to speak up. This is what's really happening. The response was immediate. Within an hour, supportive comments poured in, people sharing their own toxic family stories, others condemning what mine had done. Relatives I hadn't spoken to in years reached out privately. My grandmother called crying, saying she had no idea. Cousins apologized. The fake reviews got reported en masse. By evening, most were removed. My sister's midnight response claimed I was lying, that I was making her look bad out of spite. But the evidence was public. People could see the truth. Monday morning, my parents called to yell at me. "You've embarrassed us," my mother said. "Everyone is calling asking questions. How could you do this to your family? How could you do what you did to me? We were teaching you responsibility, and you've thanked us by trashing us online." I posted facts. "If facts make you look bad, that's on you. Take it down," my mother demanded. "No. Vera, for 32 years I let you control the narrative. You told everyone I was the problem child. You hid how you treated me. I'm done letting you lie. You're going to destroy this family. You destroyed it long ago. I'm just finally admitting it." I hung up. The next days were chaos. Extended family took sides. My grandparents demanded answers. Aunts and uncles confronted them about decades of favoritism. My sister had a public meltdown on social media, posting increasingly unhinged rants until several people suggested she seek help. Her husband lost a job opportunity when the hiring manager found the harassment video online. My business? The fake reviews were gone. Real customers rallied with honest reviews and recommendations. People came specifically to support me after reading my story. By Thursday, I was busier than I'd been since opening. I felt lighter. Not happy. Exposing family trauma is exhausting, not satisfying, but lighter. Like I'd carried weight I didn't realize was there until I put it down. For the first time in my life, people knew the truth. Not their version. Mine. And I wasn't taking it back. 2 weeks of peace followed. Peace. Business was good. My family went silent. I started to believe the worst was over. I should have known better. It was Wednesday afternoon. I'd closed early for a supply pickup across town. The trailer sat locked in its usual spot. I got back around 4 p.m. and knew immediately something was wrong. The lock was broken. The padlock hung twisted and useless. The door stood ajar. I pulled out my phone, started recording, and opened the door. My sister's husband stood at my griddle, cooking. My sister sat at the prep counter. The trailer smelled like burnt meat. "What the hell are you doing?" They both jumped. My sister recovered first. "Oh, Vera, you're back early. We were just—" "Get out, now." "Hold on," her husband said. "We can explain. You broke into my business. Get out." My sister stood. "Okay, you're upset, but if you just listen, I'm calling the police." "Wait." Her husband stepped between me and the door. "Just hear us out." I kept my phone recording. "You have 60 seconds before I call the cops." "We're family," my sister said. "We're trying to help you." "By breaking my lock?" "We weren't stealing," her husband said. "We were showing you we could run this. We figured if you saw we could handle it, you'd reconsider." "Your offer to take my business." "To borrow it," my sister corrected. "Look, you've made your point. You can run a food truck, but my husband needs work." I looked around. Freezer open, towels scattered, griddle temperature too high. "You don't even know how to use this equipment." "We're learning," her husband said. "That's why we came early." "You were planning to open my food truck?" "Just for today," my sister said. "To show you it would work. You broke in and were going to sell food using my license, my permits, my ingredients. Well, when you put it like that, that's theft, fraud, breaking, and entering." My sister's expression hardened. "We're not criminals. We're desperate. The solution is obvious. The solution is you leave. Now." Her husband crossed his arms. "What if we don't? Then I call the police and have you arrested." "For what?" "We're family. We were helping clean." "With a broken lock? After I told you no?" "That was broken when we got here." "There are cameras," I lied. "Security footage will show exactly when you broke in." Uncertainty flickered across his face. "This is ridiculous," my sister said. "We're trying to help and you're threatening us?" "You broke into my business." I pulled up my phone and started dialing 911, slowly. "Jesus Christ," her husband muttered. "You're really doing this?" "Yes." They exchanged glances. "Fine," my sister finally said. "We'll go. But this isn't over." "Yes, it is. If either of you come near my trailer again, I'm filing a restraining order. You can't. Watch me. They left, my sister shooting me looks of pure hatred. The moment they were gone, I called a locksmith. Then I actually called the police. The officer took my statement, photographed the broken lock, reviewed my recording. He explained I could press charges for breaking and entering, criminal trespass, and attempted theft. Do you want to pursue this? I thought about years of abuse, being homeless and rejected, extortion and sabotage, them trying to steal my livelihood. Yes, I want to press charges. He nodded and finished his report. I spent 2 hours cleaning the trailer. They'd contaminated surfaces, left food out, mishandled equipment. I had to throw away some inventory. That night, I posted a brief update. Had to close early today due to a security incident. Working with police to resolve. Will reopen tomorrow as scheduled. The comments filled with support. Regular customers asking if I was okay. My phone buzzed. My father. You actually called the police on your sister's husband? He broke into my business. He was trying to help. By committing crimes? You're tearing this family apart. I didn't break into anyone's business. I didn't extort anyone. I didn't sabotage anyone. That's all you. If you don't drop these charges, you're dead to us. Dad, I've been dead to you since I was 5 years old. This doesn't change anything. I hung up and blocked his number. Then I blocked my mother, my sister, her husband. I was done. They could consider me dead. I'd been living as a ghost in their family my entire life anyway. At least now I'd be a ghost they couldn't touch. The video of the break-in went viral within 24 hours. I posted it on my business page with a simple caption. This is what happened yesterday. My sister and her husband broke into my food truck. Police report filed. People shared it. Local news picked it up. By Thursday morning, I had reporters calling. I gave one interview to a local station, showed the broken lock, the police report, the timeline. They aired it Thursday evening. That's when everything exploded. Extended family members I barely knew started reaching out. Cousins, aunts, uncles, people who'd been kept at arm's length by my parents for years. My grandmother called Friday morning crying. I didn't know, she kept saying. All these years, they told us you were difficult, that you'd chosen to distance yourself. But this, Vera, this is abuse. I tried to tell you when I was younger. I know. I'm so sorry. We thought it was sibling rivalry. They made it sound like you were overreacting. She drove 3 hours the next day. Brought 2 of my aunts. They hugged me in the parking lot and cried. For the first time, I felt like someone in my family actually saw me. We sat at the picnic tables. I told them everything. Not just recent events, but the whole history. They listened, horrified. Your grandfather and I are calling your parents tonight, my grandmother said. This ends now. Meanwhile, online, my sister was unraveling. She posted claiming I'd set them up, that I'd invited them and then called police as a trap. But the police report contradicted her. The broken lock contradicted her. My recording contradicted her. People tore her apart in the comments. Then she posted a long rant about how I'd always been jealous, how I'd ruined her life, how I was using this food truck to get attention. Someone replied with screenshots comparing her lies to the actual evidence. You're a liar, the comment said. More people piled on. She responded to dozens of comments, getting more defensive and unhinged with each one. By Sunday, she'd posted 11 times in 24 hours, each more desperate. Screenshots of old family photos, accusations of manipulation, demands that people hear her side. But there was no side to hear. The evidence was overwhelming. Her husband's job search became impossible. Potential employers found the break-in video. One hiring manager told him directly, "We can't hire someone with pending criminal charges who's made the news." My parents tried damage control, posted a statement about family conflicts are complicated. It came across as hollow. Comments flooded in from people they knew. I always wondered why Vera never came around. This explains how they talked about her. You kicked her out at 18 while still in high school? By Monday, my parents' accounts went private. Too late. Screenshots had been shared, including ones where they'd disparaged me over the years. My sister made her accounts private too, but her meltdown had been archived. Tuesday, I got a message from a cousin I hadn't talked to in over a decade. I'm so sorry. We all thought you just didn't want to be part of the family. We had no idea. I'm sorry we didn't question it sooner. Similar messages came all week. Relatives apologizing for believing my parents' narrative. The family was splitting. Those who knew the truth sided with me. Those who refused to accept it circled the wagons. My grandmother called Wednesday. Your parents are being asked to step down from the church committee. Too many people are uncomfortable. And your sister? She's not doing well, Vera. That's not my problem anymore. I know. I'm not asking you to fix it. I just thought you should know. I appreciated she wasn't trying to guilt me into reconciliation. How are you holding up? She asked. Better than I've been in years. Business is good. I installed security cameras. I feel safe. Good. I'm proud of you. For building this life. For standing up for yourself. You're here now. That's what matters. Friday evening, a week after the break-in, I closed the trailer and sat on the tailgate watching the sunset. My phone buzzed. Another supportive message. Another family member apologizing. Another news article. I turned off the phone and just sat there. For 32 years, I'd been the family scapegoat. The problem child. The one who didn't fit. Now the truth was public, and I wasn't carrying that weight anymore. They were. And somehow, despite everything, I felt lighter than I'd ever felt in my life. 3 months passed. Fall turned to winter. Business stayed steady. I'd invested in a good heating system, and customers kept coming. I hadn't heard from my parents or sister since blocking them. Then my grandmother called in November. Your mother wants to talk to you. She asked me to reach out. No. She says she wants to apologize. Make things right. Your sister and father want to meet too. Grandma, I love you, but no. They don't want to apologize. They want something. Maybe. But what if they're genuine? If I agree to this and it's what I think it is, I'm walking out immediately. You understand that? I understand. We set it for a Wednesday afternoon at a diner halfway between us. Neutral territory, public, easy to leave. I arrived first, took a booth near the exit. They showed up 10 minutes later. My parents, my sister, her husband. They looked tired, worn down. Vera, my mother started as they sat. Thank you for coming. I didn't respond, just waited. We've had time to think, my father said. About everything. We want to apologize. For what specifically? They exchanged glances. For how we treated you growing up. We didn't realize how much we favored your sister. You kicked me out at 18 while I was still in high school. We thought you needed to learn independence, my father said. You gave my room to her as a playroom. Silence. We made mistakes, my mother said. We're sorry. We want to move forward. Be a family again. I looked at my sister. She was staring at the table. And you? She looked up. I'm sorry too. For the social media posts. For the fake reviews. For everything. Why now? Why after 3 months of silence? More exchanged glances. Things have been difficult, my mother admitted. The church situation. People asking questions. It's been hard. So you want me to fix your reputation? We just want to reconcile, my father said quickly. And? My sister took a breath. Why is... My husband still hasn't found work. The break-in incident keeps coming up. We're struggling, Vera. There it was. So you want me to hire him? Just maybe put in a good word somewhere? Or if you have connections, you want me to help the man who broke into my business. He made a mistake, my sister said. He's learned from it. Family shows mercy, my mother said. You showed mercy by dropping the charges. Family also doesn't break into businesses. We get it, my father said. We messed up. But you're successful now. Can't you help us move past this? I almost laughed. Successful? You have a thriving food truck, my sister said. I'm making enough to survive. After ingredients, location fees, permits, maintenance, insurance, and taxes, I clear maybe $2,000 a month on a good month. That's barely above minimum wage for the hours I work. They looked surprised. But surely you could... No, I can't. And even if I could, I wouldn't hire someone who committed crimes against me. That's so unforgiving, my sister said, voice rising. When did you become this person who can't show compassion? I became this person when my family taught me that compassion means letting people destroy you. We're trying to apologize, she said louder. People at nearby tables glanced over. You're trying to manipulate me. Again. This isn't an apology, this is a transaction. Would helping family be so terrible? My mother asked. I was family when I was homeless. You turned me away. We've apologized for that, my father said. No, you said you were teaching me independence. That's not an apology. That's justification. The waitress came. I ordered coffee. They ordered meals. When she left, my sister tried again. We're trying now. Doesn't that count for something? It would if you meant it. But you're only here because you need something. If your husband had found a job, if your social life wasn't affected, would you be here? Silence answered me. That's what I thought. My mother's eyes teared up. We're your family, Vera. You stopped being my family a long time ago. You just didn't like dealing with the consequences. I stood, pulled out my wallet, and left $20 on the table. That covers my coffee. Good luck with everything. Vera, please, my sister said, reaching for my arm. I stepped back. Don't contact me again. Any of you. We're done. I walked out into the parking lot. My hands were shaking, but not from fear or sadness, from freedom. I'd said what needed to be said, set the boundary, walked away, and this time, I wasn't coming back. I didn't hear from them for 2 months. Then my grandmother called on a January evening. Your sister's husband was arrested. Domestic violence. He hit your sister during an argument. One of the kids called 911. I set down my clipboard. Is she okay? Are the kids okay? Physically, yes. She has a black eye and bruising. The kids are shaken. They're all staying with your parents. Good. There's more. When they arrested him, they found evidence of gambling debts. Thousands of dollars hidden for years. That's what the fight was about. The job loss. The desperation. The aggressive behavior. It made sense now. He was using money meant for the kids, my grandmother continued. Lying about job searches, drinking heavily. Your sister had no idea. How is she handling it? Not well. She's broken. Realizing everything she gave up for a man who was destroying her. She's been asking about you. Don't. I'm just telling you. Thank you, but my answer hasn't changed. 3 days later, I got a text from an unknown number. It's me. Please don't block me. I just need to talk. My sister. I should have blocked it immediately. Curiosity won. What do you want? Everything you said was true. About him? About me? I'm so sorry, Vera. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say? That you forgive me. That we can fix this. I can't fix what you broke. I'm losing everything. The house. He drained our accounts. I can't afford rent. The kids and I might end up in a shelter. Please, I need help. Even rock bottom, even genuinely apologetic, she still wanted something. I can give you information about assistance programs, shelters, food banks, social services. I don't need a list of charities. I need my sister. You needed a sister when you had one. You chose to destroy that relationship. I was wrong, but I'm drowning here and you're the only one who can— Stop, I can't save you. I can barely save myself. You have a business. You have money. I have a business that barely supports me. The same business your husband tried to steal. He manipulated me. You made your own choices. You chose to side with him over me every single time. I know. I'll never forgive myself. Maybe that's what you need. To live with it. To understand what you did. That's cruel. No. Cruel is kicking someone out at 18. Cruel is stealing someone's business. I'm protecting myself. No response for minutes. Then, can you at least send me that list of resources? I spent 20 minutes compiling information. Shelters, food assistance, job placement, emergency aid, legal aid for domestic violence victims. I sent it all. Thank you. Take care of your kids. I know. I blocked the number. That weekend, my parents called. My father's voice was quiet. We need to say something. Can we come see you? Just us, not your sister. Why? Please, Vera. We owe you this. They drove up Sunday afternoon. I met them in the parking lot. My mother looked 10 years older. My father couldn't meet my eyes. We were wrong, my mother said. About everything. How we raised you, how we treated you, how we chose her over you. I waited. There's no excuse, my father continued. We did this. We destroyed our relationship with you. We nearly destroyed you. You did destroy parts of me. I just rebuilt them without you. We know. We see that. My mother's voice cracked. You're strong and successful and independent, and you did it despite us. And she started crying. My father took over. We're sorry. Truly sorry. We don't expect forgiveness. We don't deserve it. We just needed you to know that we finally understand what we did. I looked at them. These people who'd shaped my childhood, who'd taught me I was less than, who'd abandoned me when I needed them most. Okay, I said. Okay? I hear you. I believe you mean it. But it doesn't change anything. The damage is done. We know. I'm doing well now. I'm happy. I built a life I'm proud of. And that life doesn't include you. My mother nodded, still crying. We understand. I hope you find peace with this. But I can't be part of that process. Can we at least know how you're doing? Through your grandmother, maybe? Maybe, if she wants to share. But don't expect updates or visits. This is goodbye. My mother stepped forward like she wanted to hug me, then stopped herself. We love you. We always did. We just did it so badly that we destroyed it. I know. They got in their car. My father rolled down the window. We're proud of you. For what it's worth. It's worth something, just not enough. They drove away. I stood there for a long time. Then I went back into my trailer and got back to work. Spring came, and with it, change. Business had been steadily growing. I had regulars, students, office workers who made my burgers part of their routine. By March, I was turning away customers during peak hours. I couldn't keep up alone, so I hired someone, a college student named Marcus who needed flexible hours and had restaurant experience. He was reliable, respectful, good at the job. Having help felt like progress. In April, I signed a lease on a second location downtown. Better foot traffic, higher prices. I bought another trailer, refurbished it, opened in May. The day I cut the ribbon, my hands shook. 2 years ago, I'd been homeless. Now I had 2 food trucks, 3 employees, and enough income to save money. My grandmother came to the opening. So did my aunts, cousins, customers who'd become friends. Near the back, I saw my parents. They'd come quietly, just watching. When I caught my mother's eye, she smiled, small, sad, proud. I nodded. They left after a few minutes. It was enough. June brought another milestone. An apartment. Not a room above a laundromat. An actual 1-bedroom with a real kitchen and bathroom. Moving in, standing in my empty living room, I cried from relief. Through my grandmother, I heard about my sister. She'd divorced, found work as a salon receptionist, moved into a small apartment with her 4 kids. She was managing, rebuilding. In July, she asked through my grandmother if her kids could visit. Not her, just the kids. I thought about it for a week before agreeing. Supervised, grandmother present, 1 hour. They came on a Wednesday. The oldest was 12, the youngest 6. They were shy at first. I made them burgers, sat with them. Mom talks about you now, the oldest said quietly. She says she's sorry. I know she is. Are you still mad at her? I'm not mad. I'm protecting myself. The 6-year-old tugged my sleeve. Can we come back? Maybe. They finished eating. My grandmother took them home. The next week, I agreed to another visit. Then another. It became monthly. Supervised visits with the kids. They were good kids. None of this was their fault. My sister never asked to come. Never pushed. Through my grandmother, she sent a message. Thank you for spending time with them. It means everything. I didn't respond, but I kept the visits going. August marked 1 year since the break-in. I'd gone from barely surviving to thriving. Both locations were profitable. I had a team I trusted. I had an apartment, savings, stability. I was closing up when my parents approached. They stopped several feet away. We don't want to intrude, my father said. We just wanted to say we saw the second location. It's impressive. Thank you. Your grandmother tells us you're doing well. That you're happy. I am. We're working on ourselves, my mother said. Therapy, individually and together. We're trying to understand what we did. That's good. We don't expect anything from you, my father said. We just wanted you to know we're trying to be better. It's not too late for you to be better people. It's just too late for us to have the relationship you want. We understand, my mother said. We're grateful for the time you spend with the kids. They didn't push, just thanked me and left. It wasn't reconciliation, it wasn't forgiveness. It was acceptance of what happened, of what couldn't be fixed, of moving forward separately. September brought my first vacation. A week off, Marcus and my employees could handle both locations. I drove to the coast, stayed in a small inn, walked on the beach, did nothing productive. It felt like breathing. October arrived and I took inventory of my life. I was 34. I owned 2 successful food trucks. I had an apartment with furniture I'd picked myself. I had employees I trusted. I had my grandmother, some cousins, friends. I had nieces and nephews who knew me. I had parents who understood they'd lost me but were trying anyway. I had built a life from rubble. From homelessness and rejection and abuse, I'd created something stable and mine. My sister was rebuilding too, working, supporting her kids, standing on her own. She was someone I saw from a distance, connected through her children, but no longer someone who could hurt me. My parents were addressing their failures. Too late to fix what they'd broken, but not too late to stop breaking others. The family would never be whole. But maybe that was okay. Maybe some things shouldn't be repaired. Maybe some endings are necessary. I closed the trailer on a Thursday evening, drove to my apartment. made dinner in my kitchen, sat on my couch, turned on the TV, normal, peaceful, stable, mine. After everything I'd been through, that was enough. No, it was more than enough. It was everything. It was everything.